Good morning, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I say good morning. Um, it's a beautiful morning here. It was cold. I'm on a little later because it was pretty cold this morning when I first poked my head out the door, and it has warmed up quite a bit. So sorry for the late breaking astrological news. But I've spoken about this. I've spoken about what's going on the last couple of days and what's coming up. Today we have the conjunction between Venus, the planet of the heart, and Mercury, the planet of the mind. Venus is retrograde at this point. Reevaluating our values, reevaluating our identities, both I think here in this country as, individuals, what we stand for, what's important to us, what on some level are we willing to fight for, and also our identity as a country, as a nation. The changes and the disruption that Uranian energy has been so overwhelming that it's really hard to find your feet, find your footing. This conjunction between Mercury, which is direct at this point, but on Saturday will go retrograde. So with Venus and Mercury both retrograde after Saturday, there's going to be a lot of internal dialogue. There's going to be a lot of reevaluation. And, it's in Aries. And then both will go back into Pisces. So we're still at that cusp of Pisces, which is the end of the zodiac, and Aries, which is the beginning. It's as if we have a few more things to let go of before we can have an idea of where we are actually. So I want to tell you guys, it's very confusing, even for somebody as myself who studies the stars, because the stars really just show us the energy available to us, and because we have choice and we have free will in this lifetime, we get to choose which direction we want to go in. We are co-creative with spirit. And so we are actually creating our reality at this time. And the thing about Aries and all this Aries energy, and at the end of this month, Neptune, the planet of imagination, moving into Aries for the first time in 151 years. And then all the other things that are happening around that cusp, including next February's conjunction of Saturn, the planet of reality, and Neptune, the planet of imagination. If we can really sort of step back from what we're seeing and separate ourselves to a certain extent from the possible outcomes. This is not, I don't think, a time of determining outcomes. I think this is a time of watching, stepping back, examining. Yes, things are going to get difficult. It can't not get difficult. It's already difficult. It's emotionally difficult. It's mentally difficult. It's going to get more financially difficult. From one week to another, to go to the grocery store. And I'm not somebody who luckily has a family to feed besides me and Michael, right? I can't even imagine the amount of stress that people are under who are on fixed incomes, or what kind of stress people are on who are now responsible. I mean, I took care of my mother for 17 years in my home. And probably the last 3 years of that, she was pretty far into dementia. I couldn't really do it all on my own. I'm an only child. I was the only one. Michael was helpful, but could only do so much for her because, I'm her daughter and she was my mother, and there were certain things that my husband, I wouldn't ask him to do, nor might he be willing to do. But that last year when she was in the nursing home and she was, at that point bedridden. I mean, she was 101, so she lived a good life. She lived a good life here. But that last year when she went into the nursing home and she was on Medicaid and Medicare, and it was a relief for me. I'm not one to ask for help generally, and so maybe I didn't avail myself to all the help that would have been available to me. So in that respect, I understand the pressures that somebody is under when they need to take care of a parent or perhaps a disabled child, the kind of things that the government is going to help you with. And all of that now is up for grabs, I guess, or whatever's going on. But all I don't know if I'm helping anybody here, so I like to give people a perspective that's going to be helpful to them. And because you're in the middle of it, right, it's hard to discern, it's hard to really come up with any solution, really. Not that I'm in it for the solution. I'm in it. I do this to give ourselves a perspective. So everything I've said, about my situation and how difficult it is for people, I just, I want you to know that I understand that and I'm not ignoring it. That being said, I think that, this is going to be a time when we step back. If we get caught up in every possible scenario, it's going to affect our physical and mental and emotional health. And so I think what we need to do is be aware of it as much as you can if you want. If you don't want to be aware of any of it, just apply your energy to your life. There will be challenges. There's always challenges, and apply yourself to the challenges. Don't forget that we're in this together, and that if you are suffering, you're not the only one, and many hands make short work, right? So let's reach out to each other. Let's help each other where we can. This is not going to be forever. In fact, I think this is going to be a lot faster than people think. We're sort of looking at this from the perspective of all these changes. From now on, it's going to be awful. But that's not really what the astrology says. The astrology says that this is just the end of the structure of how we have lived, and the possibilities of doing it in a different way. We're right on the cusp of that. But in a way, in order to get to that, in order to get through that and then move in the direction that we want to see the world move into, we all have to become responsible for ourselves and responsible. We are our brothers and sisters' keepers, and we can work together to change things. This is not the end of the story. This is just the end of a particular story. There's a new story coming in, and we have agency and co-creative powers to create that story. So we may feel disempowered to stop this change, but this is, despite what's happening and who's doing it and all of that stuff, this change was going to happen one way or another. This is the way it's happening. We just have to be each other's keepers and get together, have our voices heard, have our actions back that up, And it doesn't have, you don't have to be on the protest line or the front of the protest. That was, in a way, an old way. And we're going to have to figure out the new way to get things to align with our needs, our wants, what is right, what is true, what is in love. Don't lose hope. Focus on the life you want to live and take action steps to get there. And with us feeling like we do have the power, and we start doing small things in our lives that show that we can make a difference in the small things, that combination of energy will help us understand that we can make big changes in the big things, because we are the people we were waiting for. This whole structure of consciousness that we're watching disassemble, dissolve, fall apart is just one option of how to live. There's other options. There are other ways. And we will find those ways, and we'll find them together. Hopefully this is helpful. We do have Uranus making a semi-square to this conjunction, and it's part of the synodic cycle between Venus and Uranus and Mercury and Uranus. We're at the end. We're at the last part of that synodic cycle, and it's about letting go. It's about extracting meaning. What does this all mean to you? What has this experience meant to you? What has it shown you? And then planning for the future. And that future is just a few months away. And we have a big eclipse coming on Friday, which is going to shift things in ways that are unexpected, that we're not really sure. I can't say to you what it's going to be, because eclipses work that way. I had class last night, and we were talking about the eclipses, and I said to the students, this is what's happening. This is where it's in your chart. How it's going to manifest, you don't know with eclipses. It's the wild card, and there's a lot of wild cards out there. And so it's very possible that in the next flip of the card, right, we talk about this card thing, that it's not anything what you thought. So let's suspend judgment and avoid getting too connected to all the changes, especially if they're ones that are going to hurt you emotionally and mentally. Because if it's going to hurt you financially, it's better to have a clear head and a clear heart to deal with it. But if your head is messed up and your heart is breaking, and then you have to deal with the physical or financial part of that, you have to find a safe space for this. And that safe space that you have control over is your reaction and response to what you're seeing. Keep yourself whole, keep yourself together. And if you need to ignore it all, ignore it all. It's going to happen whether you're watching it or not. I watch it because I feel like I have a responsibility to my viewers to know what's going on. But I have to tell you, it's really hard. I was watching things this morning and my heart feels heavy. And so I'm going to have to go take a walk and in nature, besides my yard here, and clear it out of my system. So do what you have to do to clear it out of your system. And it ain't over. It's just beginning, but that just beginning isn't just about the loss and the chaos and the pain. Oh, we're going to have some temporary pain for a little while. Nobody talked about that temporary pain, right? It's been a nice day yesterday, nice day today. I'm going to look for things popping out of the earth. If I find something, I'll take a picture of it and show you guys. But spring, hope spring's eternal, and spring is springing soon. And we're going to do this, guys. Take care of yourselves. I know this was rather long, and I was probably talking to myself most of it, but hopefully it was helpful for you. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Mystic Sisters this Saturday on my channel. And I have a little surprise on this channel coming up in April, I think. But I'm gonna hold back and tell you what it is. But it's something that has been requested for a while now. So mystery. All right, one more thing that you can mull over. Jesus, what am I doing to you guys? All right, take care, everyone. Namaste.